Let's move over to the Eastern Cape now, where it's a rite of passage that every Xhosa boy is expected to go through in their lifetime to become men. But for many years, the practice of initiation has come under fire for the increasing number of deaths that have occurred. Now, 5 deaths have already been recorded in the beginning of this year's initiation season. eNCA reporter Ronald Masinda is looking into that issue and joins us live for the very latest on that. A very good morning to you once again, Ronald Masinda. We spoke to you earlier on and we discussed the biggest concerns for community members who are sending their sons to this particular process, and we wanted to hear about the stakeholder engagement in terms of partnerships between those who run these initiations and also government officials involved in any instance to make sure that these boys are safe as they go on this journey. What have you picked up over the last hour?
Good morning, Rofeo. Well, initiation season is definitely in full swing here in Tanzania as thousands of young boys harbor the ambitions of becoming men. Now, this hour, the Department of Culture here in the Eastern Cape has confirmed that indeed 5 young boys have lost their lives during the current initiation season. And the first death reported was here in Tanzania of a 16-year-old. I am joined by Andile Siko. He is a traditional surgeon here at the Buffalo City Metro. Thank you so much for your time, sir. First of all, let's talk about the first death.
That was a very unfortunate incident, very tragic indeed. I do not have much information on exactly what happened there. Just hear rumors here and there that it is not exactly circumcision related, but the boy was, I think, diabetic or something. He is very tragic indeed. I'm hoping that things like that do not happen in the near future.
You've been a traditional surgeon for many years, I think 20 years. 23 years, wow. Tell us, what is the process
of becoming one as a traditional surgeon? I think these things have changed over the years. Today, I believe one has to be plus minus 5 years since he himself has underwent this ritual. And yeah, that is it. And must have worked with the surgeon closely so that you can learn the ropes from that particular person.
Unfortunately, there are those who are tainting the image of traditional surgeons. What are you doing to address the situation?
There is not much we can do as traditional surgeons, for instance. It all depends on the leaders, let's say COCTA, House of Traditional Leaders, and maybe health. Us, we don't have the power. So there's not much we can do, unfortunately.
This current season, you were telling me off camera that you will be taking or be in charge of over 300 boys. How do you manage such a large number?
It's not easy. It's not easy. The number is too huge as far as I'm concerned. It's not supposed to go like that, but unfortunately everyone wants their children to undergo this now, not the another like say June, for instance. They want them to go now. And then I try my best. I push hard. It's even hard to sleep. Sometimes I don't get sleep at all. I have to be up at 3 o'clock, go and to do what I have to do. So it's not easy.
Andile, as a parent, why should I trust you with my child?
I've been doing this for years. 23 years straight. I'm not stubborn. I understand that an initiate is a human being and should not be treated like an animal. So I do everything to make sure that the boys, they come out alive. And not if one has to take, for instance, medication, then I allow those things to happen. If one cannot eat certain things, then I have a certain diet for boys to eat, not just stick to one thing of that or crash and everything like that. So I do everything. I try and work with the parents. And I've got some nurses that I work with as well.
This rite of passage has been around for many centuries. Do you feel that you, as a traditional person, what more do you need to do to preserve this?
We need to mix it. It has been there for years, and it's very unfortunate that we're still doing the same thing that was done in the 80s, for instance, and doing this the same way in 2022, for instance. You have to understand that our children are different from us. They've been raised in a different environment. So we need to change things a little bit. There's nothing wrong with mixing the East with the West, a little bit of it, not much, yes, a little bit of it to save lives, because this is about lives at the end of the day. These boys are human. So I believe that we need to, one, get some education. There should be education involved. Why not equip me? Why not train me so that I have just some medical teaching or training on the side, so that I can see, for instance, some things before they even happen. I know this boy is diabetic because I can see the signs. This boy has got TB, I can see the signs. This boy has got this and that, and now I know how to handle a boy with such diseases. Those things are necessary in 2022.
Let's talk about amakhwenkazi, those who go without the permission of parents and guardians. How do you deal with that process?
Unfortunately, we just welcome them. Because you have to remember, here in Tanzania, for instance, we don't have those circumcision schools like other places in the former Transkei. It is different here. Currently, in Tanzania, for instance, we've got places. I can't call them circumcision schools. I'll call them places where we put these bombers.
But why? Why are you welcoming children?
We don't circumcise them. Sometimes they come here already circumcised. They circumcise in some ghettos out there. And then wearing clothes, they come into, I'm Mkweta already, I've been cut. And there's nothing else you can do because he's already cut. And then you have to help him. That's why we welcome them, unfortunately. So we welcome them because, unfortunately, this thing is out of control here. There's 62 places where these bombers are put. So the boy can go and speak some size house anyway. And then when he comes here, it already in Mkweta, there's no other thing we can do because we have to save a life.
Last year, there was confirmation that over 50,000 initiates took part during this initiation season. What are your expectations this time around?
It could be around that number as well, or even more, because I can tell that even the traditional nurses are not coping with the amount or the number of initiates that they're handling, because you'll find one in traditional nurse having more than 50 initiates, which is more than they're supposed to be, what they are supposed to be handling. It is wrong, and it's not something that was not that those people need to rest, and they're not getting enough rest, the traditional nurses themselves now, and then they are not coping. So at least we need some help, some intervention of some sort.
Let's talk about the contentious issue of age. It has come up, and I'm sure the Eastern Cape government has also raised this matter, saying that at least 18 or above, but also 16-year-olds are allowed if they can prove that they are indeed ready for this rite of passage. What are your views on the matter of age? Are we seeing younger people than 16?
Yeah, we are seeing a lot of young people, 16, for instance. We're seeing a lot of 16-year-olds, and they are all permitted. We don't know how that came to be. We are only told by some people, some officials, that there is a national act that says 16-year-olds can go with this now. The last we checked, it was 18, and we only asked for 17, not 18, with knowledge of at least a 17-year-old is doing matric, so at least those can be allowed in, but not 16-year-olds. They are too young. But unfortunately, our parents and the officials have already agreed to this, and then now they are coming here as well.
Just lastly, what would you like to see change? What will your address be to government?
Help us so that we can help these boys.
In what way? In what way? And elaborate.
Losing lives is not easy. We don't want to lose lives at all. We don't come with intentions of killing anyone. Now, I believe there should be some short courses, for instance, for these traditional nurses, even traditional surgeons as well. Short courses, so that we know that we've got literate people here who understand the human anatomy, for instance, and the need for water and all those things, hygiene, everything. Not just think that because a person underwent this ritual, then the person is suitable to do it. It is totally wrong. Because some people were abused when they were here as abakwetas, and then they think that they have to do the same abuse unto these boys now, because there is no education involved. So we need education. We need this to be a qualification from now on.
Mr. Siko, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. So that is Andile Siko, as you heard there, Rufiwa, a man who has well over 20 years of experience as a traditional surgeon. From here, we will be also trying to speak to some of the young boys who have turned into men during this period. It's back to you for now.
For that important conversation that you have just highlighted there for us, reporter Ronald Masinda out in the Eastern Cape.